Guess what's back in stock in the TikTok shop? Denttach. So I got my Denttach currently soaking in hot water. I'm going to be putting some on my upper denture so I get some suction. Not my lowers today, just the uppers. And I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. Alright, so I've had my Denttach soaking for a while and I've got clean and dry dentures. So we're going to go ahead and get some of our Denttach out. We've got a towel to dry it off on. You want to make sure everything is good and dry because if it does get wet, it won't adhere correctly and it could slide off your denture. Now, being as my dentures are from Denture Box, I did file them a little bit just so that we could make sure that the Denttach does stick. They're like a super smooth acrylic, so nothing really sticks to them. So now it's all dried off. We got to be quick about this because you see it's already oozing out the top. It's going to come out really quick. We're going to start with about this much to start with. Put the cover right back on because you can see it's still oozing out. And we're just going to play with it for a minute. Play with it like you're a kid playing with Play-Doh. Stretch and mold. Stretch and mold. Just like that. You'll notice it starts to get a little less stuck to your fingers the more you fidget with it. And that's how I tell it's ready to go on my dentures. So now that it's not sticking as much, I'm going to roll this out into a hot dog. So it's going to look about like this. And I'm going to start with my trough area. I'm just going to go from one end all the way to the other end, and we're going to push it up into the sides because I really need some support on the sides. There's some spots there that hurt when I don't have the support there. I'm not going to bring it all the way to the back edge of the palate because then I'll get a lot of overflow that makes me gag. So I found the best way to prevent that is to just bring it down a little bit, but not all the way to the edge. So you can see where I kind of cut it off before it gets to the end there. See the cutoffs? And it will fill in my mouth when I'm pushing down and applying pressure. That will fill in from there, but it won't all ooze out the back, causing me to gag. Now we're going to get some for the palate itself. We're going to go with about this much. Put the cover back on. About like this. About a quarter size amount. I'm going to roll it around for a minute, and now we're going to do the stretchy Play-Doh fun. It's really sticking to my fingers. Really sticky. It's important after you get this in your mouth and setting that you don't eat or drink anything for a couple hours. It just helps with the setting. That's why some people choose to do it at night because then they can just sleep in their dentures and not have to worry about it. I'm actually not going to be sleeping in my dentures, but I am going to let this cure in my dentures for a few hours before I do anything else and take it out for the night and stuff. So this one just does not want to stop sticking to my fingers. So we're just going to take it off my fingers and we're going to kind of flatten this one, kind of like a pancake. We want kind of like a pancake. So I'm going to roll it into a ball and then we're going to just flatten it. Flatten it. And it's still sticking to my fingers, but it's kind of flat. And now it's a ball again. I'm having trouble with this batch. Goodness sakes. It just wants to keep sticking to my fingers. Now we're going to push this all over the palette. All over, but we're going to leave room on that back edge just like before. So it's going to look kind of like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab just a tiny bit more. Just a tiny bit because I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to put some on one side of the trough and some on the other side of the trough up towards the front part. Because I find that there's a couple of spots there that like to really dig into my gums that hurt. And this prevents that from happening. So I kind of got these parts here separated. So I'm putting half over here, if I can get it off my fingers. Goodness sakes alive, is this complicated. Now these two are stuck together. There we go. Now we're gonna pull this off the fingers. Kinda. What a mess tonight. I don't get why it's so sticky tonight. Maybe I made it hot for too long. I don't know. Alright, now we're gonna put this on the other side where I get that sore spot. It's sticking to the others in the palette and stuff, so it's kind of making a big mess. Beat it down. We'll beat it down. So this is what it kind of looks like. I got some on my teeth. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Now you will get a slight tingle sensation when you put this in your mouth. I find if you let this sit for about 7 or 8 minutes before you put it in your mouth, you don't get the burning and tingling feeling. So I'm going to let this sit and we'll be right back. All right, they've been sitting for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put my bottoms in. This is what it looks like after it sat for a little bit. It kind of looks like it's melted a little bit. But now the burn and stuff should be completely gone. So let's go ahead and put this in. I'm going to push up, put it into place in my suck zone, and then bite down. And that is Denttach. It is on sale right now in the TikTok shop, so make sure you go and grab some today just by clicking that little orange shopping cart.